Hello, and welcome to another wrap-up. In September, I actually had a really good reading month, considering everything going on. I started a new job. I hate it, but here we are. And I was really stressed for the first week of this past month, so I didn't read anything. But then I did, and I read a lot, and it was pretty good, if I say so myself. Yeah, I read 9 books. I'm pretty proud of that, so yeah, let's get into the stats. So, in terms of star rating, I read 1 5-star, 2 4.5 stars, 4 4 stars, 1 3-star, and 1 1-star. And in terms of genre, I read 5 fantasy books, 3 graphic novels, I'm gonna call it, and 1 romance book. And in total, I read 2,322 pages. Now into the books. So the first book that I read in September was City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab. Whatever. This is about a girl named Cassidy who can see ghosts, and her parents are sort of ghost hunters / they like to discover places and things that have ghost stories around them, about them, I don't know. So it's about her discovering new ghosts and stuff with her power. That's the easiest way I can explain it. Whatever. I really like this. I gave it a 4-star. It is super entertaining. I really like the friendship between her and Jacob. The only critique I had about this book is the excessive amount of Harry Potter references, which I have expressed several times here and everywhere that I hate in books. When there are too many references, be it Harry Potter or anything else, I don't need references to feel connected to a character. I just hate it. That's just my personal thing that I have against books and stuff. Whatever. I just don't like it. I don't know. That's the only thing I didn't like about this. Excessive Harry Potter references. The next book that I'm going to tell you about, I didn't actually fully read. I DNF'd it at like 25% sort of. It is called The Hand of the Sun King. I don't know by who that is by English. I don't know. But I could not finish it. Yeah. I gave it a 1-star. For my own reading goal, I'm not considering that book as a book that I've read this year. It is on Goodreads because I don't want to forget that I read it. Yeah. I didn't read it. I read 25% of it. I consider that read enough to know whether I like it or not. But whatever. Take it as you will. I didn't like it. I could not keep reading it. The main character was annoying. I didn't understand the book. There was nothing really that interested me in the book. The character was annoying. The plot was annoying. I gave up, basically. The next book that I read was a graphic novel called The Bruja is Missing. The Bruja. I'm just gonna say The Witch is Missing. I don't know. I'm not good at Spanish. Anyways, this was an arc that I found on NetGalley that I was intrigued by because of the art on the cover. I'm gonna be honest here. This story follows a woman who is the town witch, and she goes missing, and her little demon pets, I don't even know, try to summon food because she is missing, but accidentally summon the devil. So our main character, who is the niece of the witch, comes into her house to find the devil in the living room. And so she basically makes a deal with the devil to find her aunt. It's kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. I gave it a 3-star. It was okay. I really liked the art. I liked the plot. I just didn't really care about the main character. I love the devil though. That sounded wrong. But I didn't care for the main character girl. I didn't understand why the demons spoke in a really weird language. And the story felt very info dumpy and ended right when it was about to get interesting. So yeah, that's it. The next book I read in September was the sequel to City of Ghosts, which is Tunnel of Bones. This one we follow again the same character, but this time they go to Paris, which is super fun because I've been there and I actually knew what they were talking about because I haven't been to Edinburgh like that. Anyways, I really like this. Again, a 4-star. Super fun. I really like the ending too. It ended on kind of a cliffhanger moment, and comparing these two books, I preferred the problem, without spoiling, in this book. It was better, I feel. I really liked it. The next book that I read was another ARC comic graphic novel from NetGalley, which is called The Storm, which is about a group of children who, when they're going on a trip to a ruined castle, I guess, they accidentally fall into a hole and are teleported sort of to a fantasy-ish world set in the future. It is super fun. I really liked it. I gave it a 4-star. I really liked the art style. It gave me Cartoon Network, sort of like, I don't know if everyone knows what Uncle Grandpa is, but I'll put pictures somewhere. Kind of that style, kind of ugly but cute. I don't know how to explain it, but I really liked it. I also liked the plot in general, even though some of the characters were sort of annoying and the plot was okay. I kind of found it entertaining. It's a 100-page graphic novel, like how else would I comment on it? The next book that I read was another graphic novel, which is the Big Hero 6 graphic novel series. If you don't know what Big Hero 6 is, it's a Disney movie about a group of kids who are geniuses and they fight crime, basically, in their inventions. They invent stuff to be able to be superheroes. Whatever. In this graphic novel, we follow them after the movie, and also a prequel to the movie was put in randomly at the end. Whatever. That was one of the critiques. But I gave it a 4-star. It was really fun. I really loved Big Hero 6 when I watched it a million years ago. And I really liked the characters still. Fred is my favorite. It was super fun to read. The only thing was the last chapter being set in the past when the rest was in the future. It was kind of confusing, but still fun, and I'm really excited to read the next one. The next book I read in September was The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. This was so good. This is about two characters, Tiffy and Leon, that end up sharing a flat or apartment together without actually meeting each other. So Tiffy gets the house for the night, basically, from like 8 or 6 or whatever it was, until 8 in the morning, and Leon gets the day at the house. So they never see each other, and it's a romance. You can figure it out. I gave this a 4.5. I loved it. My friend who read this did not like it, but I did, and none of you are wrong. It was so fun, so cute. I really liked the characters. I really liked Leon and his brother. I really liked everything, basically, except for the miscommunication trope, which I hate. And that could have like been deleted for me, but it's fine. The ending was cute, so I am fine with it. Also, trigger warning for everyone who is planning to read this. Trigger warnings for emotional abuse and drowning. So yeah, be aware of that before you read this. The next book that I read in September was A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Brigid Kemmerer. This is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely. And I buddy read this with Georgia, as I did with Tunnel of Bones, but I'm not really counting it because she read it all and then I finished it after her, so no buddy reading there. But this one we did buddy read. Oh my god. And I really loved it. I gave it a 4.5. If you don't know what the first book is about, it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where the Beast character gets turned into a monster at the end of autumn for several cycles, I guess. It repeats several times until he finds somebody that loves him. Whatever. I annotated this. It was super fun. I love Gray. Anything he does, I will love. This is not really a spoiler. I'm going to try and not spoil you, but I thought that he was gonna end up with somebody else. But then my ship sank like the Titanic, so here we are. I fully support the relationship though. I love it. It's super cute. Yeah, I really liked it. Taiko is such a sweetie. I don't know how to say his name correctly, but I think that's how you say it. I loved everything, really, sort of. I gave it a 4.5. I don't know if I said that. I really liked Jake and Gray's friendship. It was super cute. The ending shook me, I'm not going to lie. I did not expect that, but also, again, I'm trying not to spoil, but yeah. I really liked it. It was a solid sequel. And especially because it's the middle book, it was really good. Because sometimes the middle books are horrible. And the last book that I read was Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. This was one of my 5-star predictions and it lived up to that prediction. I gave it a 5. It is a story about a girl who goes to basically a school for assassins because she wants to kill some people. I don't want to spoil. I highly suggest you going into this without reading what the plot is about in the back. I loved it. I didn't know what it was about really before I read this. Oh my god, I loved it. I loved everything about this. I annotated it. It was the best thing of my life. I already knew that before I read this. I was expecting greatness and I got it. I love Mia. I almost cried at the end because of reasons that if you've read this you probably know. The ending shook me a little bit. Not really. I mean, some things were predictable, but I was still loving it all the way. This is amazing. Highly recommend this. This is so good. I'm so excited for the rest of the books. These, plus the 4 arcs from NetGalley, were all the books that I read in September. I think it was a really good month of reading because most of the books were 4 stars and up. So I'm pretty proud of myself and happy that I loved all of these books, except for one. Yeah. Highly recommend basically all of these. Wow, that's really good. But that is everything for today and I'll see you in my next weird video. Bye!